everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And today we're going to take a look at the second in the series of Marvel Superhero Mashers Mash Packs. This one includes Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. It's a new branch of the Masher line that features basically 2-packs. And yesterday we took a look at the other 2-pack in the first wave, which included figures of the Hulk and Loki. And like with that one, this one comes in a window box packaging, very similar to the single package figures that we've seen in this line, only it's a little bit bigger. You've got a conglomerate looking figure on the side with mashed up parts from various figures. You've got the Superheroes Mashers logo at the bottom. You've got the figures clearly displayed in the packaging. And then you've got a look at one of the features, the launching spider missile. Then on the back of the packaging, we see the figures included in the set with mixed and matched parts from other figures with a little diagram showing you which parts belong to which figures. So we've got parts belonging to Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, Hawkeye, Doctor Doom, the Hulk, and Loki. Okay, so let's get these figures open and take a look at what's inside. So here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging, and like with the Loki and Hulk 2-pack, this set features a brand new figure that's never been released before with the Dr. Octopus figure, and then a repackaged figure from the single package line. With Spider-Man. This is basically the same Spider-Man figure that we previously got, only he now comes with some different armor piece accessories and a big gun that fires a spider missile. But the figure itself is basically the same figure that was released previously in the first wave of single package figures. Now the armor is somewhat strange. It really doesn't strike me as Spider-Man, other than it does have this one piece that looks like is a web shooting gadget, but otherwise it's kind of black and orange armor and just really doesn't look like something that you would see Spider-Man wearing. But nevertheless, it's what he comes with. The armor pieces itself are removable, of course, and they're just made with that same kind of soft plastic. Now it's a chest piece basically, and it does have a strap that you just basically slide in to fasten it, and then unfasten it. And again, you can see it's this kind of soft vinyl rubber material that we see basically used often with this line. Then he comes with this, again, this strange arm piece that's kind of like a web shooter of some type. The web things are soft plastic, but it's not removable. You can pull it off. And then he does come with his regular web shooting hand like we saw in the single package figure. So if you don't want him with the armor, then you can have him displayed as just regular Spider-Man. And then he comes with this big Spider-Man gun. It's got a spider on it. It's red, Spider-Man colors. Has a missile that fires. We've seen this kind of big gun with a lot of these figures. You just push the button and it fires pretty far. So be careful when firing it. Now, one thing I want to point out with this figure, and I don't necessarily know for sure that these pieces belong to this figure, but one thing that occurred to me was in the previous 2-pack with the Loki and the Hulk figure, there were these accessory pieces that I speculated maybe were to go to another figure like Ghost Rider, because they have like flames on it and stuff, and they're just kind of armor pieces, like 2 shoulder pieces. But one thing I kind of noticed is the armor pieces that came in that set do somewhat kind of match the look of this armor piece that comes with Spider-Man. Now I don't really know what the connection of fire is with Spider-Man, and again, this is just speculation, so I don't know for sure that these extra pieces were meant to go with the Spider-Man or not. But another thing to notice is with this strange wrist fire gun thing that came in the Loki set, it had a red fist, which really doesn't strike me as belonging to Ghost Rider. But Spider-Man, of course, has a red fist, so it's not the exact color of red of Spider-Man, but you know, it does kind of fit. And as I said, it kind of, the color scheme kind of matches this armor. So I don't know, maybe this is supposed to be like some kind of anti-venom armor or something, you know, since Venom is scared or weakened by fire. So maybe that's the concept behind this armor piece, even though it comes with a 2-pack with Doc Ock. I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of guessing, and I mean, technically you can use it however you want. There's really no right or wrong way to use these pieces, since the whole concept of this line is to mix and match, you know, parts from various figures. But just something I wanted to point out about this figure and these armor pieces. So here's a look at the Dr. Octopus figure. Now this is probably the figure you're buying this set for, because I assume that if you've been collecting this line, you probably already got the Spider-Man figure. That's kind of the biggest drawback with these 2-packs is if you don't already have the second figure that was previously released, these 2-packs aren't too bad, since they cost about $25, and as singles with all the accessories they cost about $15. Each, so you'd be saving almost $5. But if you've already bought like Spider-Man, and Spider-Man I think was a basic figure, so in fact that one only cost around $10. You know, it kind of sucks that you have to buy a second of a figure you already have. But at any rate, this is the new figure that's never been released before in the line so far, and so it's not a bad looking figure. I think they've captured the overall likeness of Doc Ock pretty good with this. He comes with this big kind of claw mechanism, you know, and again, keep in mind this is a line primarily geared for kids, so things like this, you know, are kind of par for the course. But it's actually not a bad looking accessory. Kind of works well with the octopus arms and everything, so it's not bad. But if you don't like that, you can of course snap it off, and they have provided a regular fist for Dr. Octopus, so you can have him with just his more traditional look with just the octopus arms. And then the way the octopus arms work is they're basically just kind of rubber pieces that attach to this backpack. There's 4 of them. Now, I am a little disappointed with these because you know, they're flexible and all, but they don't really, you can bend them, but they just kind of go back into the same position, so you can't really pose the arms too much. The ends are removable, so if you want to take the claw pieces off, you can. There's not really much you can do with them. And there's no, you know, again, you can't really have them grip anything because the claws are just that same kind of soft, rubbery material. So you can bend them, but they don't stay in place. So you can't really have them grip anything. They won't support the weight of the figure, so you can't have them like stand the figure on the arms or anything like, you know, Doc Ock would traditionally do. Plus the arms are kind of short, so they look good on the figure, but there's not a whole lot you can do with them, to be absolutely honest. So that's a little disappointing. Now the backpack that they attach to, if you want to get all 4 arms on his back, you have to use this backpack. Now it comes with these, the set comes with these extra pieces of armor, which I'm not 100% sure where they're supposed to go or what they're supposed to be used for. And again, there's no real right or wrong way to use them, but the way I thought they looked best was as an added piece on the backpack. But you can remove these pieces, and then you've just got this blue backpack. Again, the arms are detachable from the backpack, and then you can detach the backpack if you want. And again, it has the 2 holes on each side, so you can hold all 4 arms with the backpack. Now I suppose if you wanted to, you could stick the arms on just his back, but you'd only be able to get 2 on his back. And of course you could always stick them on his arms, or, you know, things like that. You know, so you can technically get creative if you want to. These figures, you know, scale-wise, they're all roughly about the same height. They stand just about 6.5 inches tall. Now it actually looks like the Doc Ock maybe it's just a hair taller than Spider-Man, but for the most part they're about the same height and type build. And articulation again on these figures is pretty much the same across the board, so if you have any of the figures in this line, you pretty much know what to expect for articulation. But we'll just go over it real quick with the Doc Ock figure. The head's on a ball joint, a hinged ball joint, so he's got good rotation up and down, and of course the head's removable and you can look left and right. arms are attached with ball hinge joints, so he's got good rotation, can get the arm out. Elbows, again with those ball hinge joints, you can disassemble at the elbow, and he's got pretty good bending at the elbow. There's no midsection articulation on these figures. Legs, again, attached with those ball hinge joints, and again the leg is removable at that joint. So he's got good rotation. Of course, now I got to snap it back on. And for the most part, the joints are tight once you snap it in. You just pull them off and slide them back on with those little pegs, and they stay attached pretty well. So he's got good rotation. He can do his leg out, back. He can do it out. He can do the splits good. Knees, he's got pretty good bending. Again, you can pull the knees apart, but he's got pretty good bending there, and he's got rotation there at the knee. And then the ankles, the feet aren't removable, but he does have the hinged ball joints with the ankle pivot, which is nice. And then these figures do come with 2 peg holes. Okay, so obviously the basic concept with this line is you can disassemble the figures. You can basically take them apart down to the midsection of the body. So, pull all the legs off and the lower parts of the arms and the head and everything. And then you can just mix and match parts with other figures in the line. Should also note that Hasbro is now releasing a line of Transformer mashup figures for their Transformers brand, and if you have any of those figures, you can also mix and match pieces from those with your Marvel figures. But basically, you can get super creative and mix and match pieces from all kinds of various characters, or you can be, kind of be a more realist, so take like your Spider-Man figure and stick your Dr. Octopus head on, and even like his arms, and you can have like almost a makeshift kind of superior Spider-Man. So again, it's really up to you how creative you want to get, and really this is more of a gimmick for the kids, but it can be fun nevertheless. Okay, so that's my review. Like I say with all these mashup reviews, this line is primarily geared for kids. But I still think it can be fun for adult collectors, and is probably also a great line for adult collectors to introduce their kids to the Marvel Universe with. The figures are obviously a little bit more cartoony and bulkier than what a Marvel Legends figure would look like. But I still think the detail overall is pretty nice on these figures. And again, my biggest drawback with these 2-packs is that you have to buy a figure that you likely, if you're collecting this line, already have. It'd be nice, like, say with the Spider-Man figure, if they just painted the Spider-Man all black with the white Spider-Man logo, then we could have had a new, basically the same mold, but a new, black costume Spider-Man. That to me would have been more appealing than just giving us another Spider-Man with some strange armor. But other than that, I think these figures are nice, especially if you don't happen to have the single package version already, then I think it's definitely a good deal. And the Doc Ock fig, I would have liked to seen the arms a little more usable with the figure, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. So these figures are hitting shelves now at places like Toys R Us. I'm not sure if they're showing up, if the 2-packs are showing up at places like Target and Walmart yet, but for the most part, you shouldn't have too much problem finding them if you want to pick them up. So that's my review. I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, I'll check you later.